Hey guys, Mark here. I hope you are well. Today I'm showing you how to make another romantic or love-themed project. This one is perfect for Valentine's Day or throughout the year. It's always the right time to say I love you. So with that said, the project for today is an I Heart You key fob. Here are a couple of examples of today's project. Basically, we're using 2 knots for the entire pattern. First, we use the Lark's head knot to attach our cords onto the keyring or snap. The rest of the pattern is done using double half hitches. We're going to do 20 rows and each row has 8 knots in it. So a total of 160 knots, or 320 half hitches. That may be intimidating, but with patience and persistence, this is a fairly easy project. As far as supplies go, our main supply is cordage. In my case, I'm using Paracord, but you can use other types of cord as well. I recommend a diameter between 1 mm and 1.5 mm. Thicker cordage is going to result in a too big of a key fob. For the main pattern in the key fob, so the 2 letters and the heart, I'm going to be using a single cord about 5 feet long. In most cases, red is the optimal choice. For the main color, so the one around the heart and the letters, we're going to need 4 cords about 4.5 feet long. I recommend the color black, but green and blue also works. For attaching your key fob onto a set of keys, I recommend using either a keyring or a lobster claw hook such as this one. The final supply is a classic scissors and a lighter to cut and melt your cords. Let's begin tying. To begin our tying, we're going to attach our 4 working cords onto the keyring using the Lark's head knot. So you take one of the cords and you fold it in half. You feed the bight through the keyring and you pull the 2 ends into the bight. Like this. So this is the Lark's head knot. Now do the same with the remaining 3 cords. And here is our initial setup, our keyring and 8 working ends. And here you can see how I secure my setup to prevent it from moving. I take a cord and I feed it through the keyring. Basically creating a bight. Then I tape on these 2 ends onto the table. Like this. Before we begin building the pattern, a quick description at how we're going to do it. So I've mentioned that we're going to line up 20 rows of 8 knots each. We're going to travel from left to right, then from right to left, from left to right, and so on. We're going to do either full lines, such as this one, or color sequences. Most of the information is going to be displayed here on the top left. So the row number, the direction, so either from left to right or from right to left, and the color sequence. So our first row is a full line. The second one, again a full line. The third row has a color sequence of 1 knot in the primary color, 6 knots in our pattern color, and another knot in the primary color. So a total of 8 knots. The fourth row is a full line. Fifth row, a full line. Sixth row has 4 knots in the primary color, 2 knots in the pattern color, and 2 knots in the primary color. So all of the information is going to be on the top left, plus I'm going to say what I'm doing. So you should have everything covered. I'm now going to introduce my guiding cord. I'm going to place it over my working ends, and just to make things easier to see, I'm going to pin it down. You don't have to do this at home. So something like this. I'm now going to attach all of my ends onto the guiding cord using double half hitches. So first, the first cord. Pass top down under your guiding cord, creating a hitch. Repeat for a second time, so top down under the guiding cord. Again, creating a hitch. Tighten up. Like this, and continue with the next cord. Top down under the guiding cord, creating a hitch. And again, top down under the guiding cord, creating a hitch. Like this. Simply do the same with all of the remaining strands. So one hitch, two hitches, and tighten up. And with this, our first row is complete. We're going to do our second row exactly the same way. Take your guiding cord, place it over your working ends and attach them onto the guiding cord. So now this is the first one. Pass top down under the guiding cord, creating a hitch. And for a second time, under the guiding cord, creating a hitch. Tighten up. Do the same thing with the remaining strands. Sew a hitch like this, and the second one, tighten up, and the next strand, hitch, the second hitch, and tighten up. In the third row, we are going to add in the letter I. First off, attach your first cord onto the guiding cord. Then we're going to switch things around and we're going to attach our guiding cord onto the next 6 working cords. To do this, take your second cord and pass it over your guiding cord. Then attach your guiding cord. So under, like this, creating a hitch. And a second hitch. Like this. Continue with the next strand. Pass it over. Like this, and attach your guiding strand. Like this. And the next strand, pass over your guiding strand, then attach it. So like this, I attached my guiding cord onto 6 of my working strands. Now I'm going to attach the final one, so the 8th one, onto my guiding strand. So the guiding strand is going over. Now I simply attach my working cord. Next, we're going to add 2 spacing lines in between the eye and the heart. Take your guiding cord, place it over your working cords and attach them. So the first one, create a hitch, create a second hitch, like this, and the next cord, a hitch, a second hitch, like this, and the next cord, hitch, and a second hitch, like this. Do the same thing with the remaining 5 strands. And the second spacing line, place your guiding cord over your working cords and attach them. So a hitch, and the second hitch, and the next cord, hitch, and the second hitch, and the next cord, hitch, and the second hitch, and do the same with the remaining 5 strands. We are now going to do the heart. Since we got used to double half hitches, we are going to speed things up. First, attach your first 2 working cords. So the first cord and the second one. Now attach your guiding cord onto the next 2 working cords. And the second cord. Now attach the remaining 4 cords onto the guiding cord. On the next row, we are first going to attach 3 of our working cords. Then we are going to attach our guiding cord onto 4 of our working cords. Finally, attach your last working cord onto the guiding cord. On the next row, we are going to start by attaching two of our working cords. Like this. Then, attach your guiding cord onto four working cords. Finally, attach your last two working cords onto the guiding cord. On the next row, we're going to start by attaching a single working cord. Then, attach your guiding cord onto four working cords. Finally, attach the last remaining three cords onto the guiding cord. We've now done half a heart. We're going to complete the other half by mirroring the first half. Take the first two working cords and attach them. Then we're going to attach our guiding cord onto four of our working cords. Finally, attach the last two remaining working cords onto the guiding cord. In the next row, we are going to first attach 3 working cords. Then attach your guiding cord onto 4 working cords. Finally, attach your last working cord. And our final row, as far as the heart goes, attach 2 of your working cords. Then attach your guiding cord onto 2 working strands. Finally, attach the last 4 remaining working cords. Now we're going to add 2 spacing lines between the heart and the U. So simply attach all of your working strands. Then another row, again attaching all of the working strands. All there's left to do is to put a U in I love you. First, attach 2 of your working strands onto your guiding one. Then attach your guiding cord onto 5 working strands. Finally, we're going to attach our last cord onto the guiding strand. On the next row, we're going to attach 6 of our working strands onto our guiding one. Then, attach your guiding strand onto one working strand. Finally, attach your last working strand onto the guiding one. In the next row, attach one of your working hands onto the guiding strand. Then, attach your guiding strand onto one of your working strands. Attach the remaining 6 working strands onto the guiding one. In the next row, we're going to attach a single working strand onto the guiding one. Then attach your guiding strand onto 5 of your working strands. Attach the last 2 working strands onto the guiding one. After the U, we're going to add the final 2 spacing lines. So simply attach all of your working ends onto the guiding strand 2 times. To finish things off, we're going to cut and melt the ends. So guys, that's our project. An I love you paracord key fob. These kinds of projects usually end up in a fairly long video. But I prefer to cover everything than to leave things out. So I hope you found it enjoyable and that you were able to complete the project. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope to see you in my future projects as well.